What's up, guys? It's Ninja May. You know who it is. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed, and leave a comment at what you think of this matchup. I mean, it just helps me to just to get some more content out, right? But anyway, enough of that. We got some interesting matchup here. Really interesting matchups, I should say. I was going to say the plural there because this card is a sleeper, man, and people are sleeping on it. But it's a banger, right? I think look, it can't be worse than the freaking Rose versus Esparza fight we just saw last weekend, right? So anyway, it's good. We got a flyweight fight here. It's gonna be a banger. Really interesting. Taira versus Candelario. Look at this. Taira, he's interesting because I want to talk about him a little bit. Now you see, it's gonna be his first fight coming here. It's his debut in the UFC. So now you might want to. Sometimes that's a reason to fade. A lot of times people make under the big bright lights. It can be it's kind of a lot. We'll see how they deal with competition, especially with maybe higher level competition, right? Going back, he's mostly fought in Japan, he's fought mostly other Japanese people, so the talent pool there. But not only his last fight, was not against a Japanese guy, but if you watch that fight, you could see it on YouTube. You could check it out. Very interesting. I want to talk about his physicality. He's very young. He's always in good shape, and for his frame. Even the Japanese commentators were saying that too. Like his frame, it looks larger. He looks more like a bantamweight rather than a flyweight. So he's thin, he's young, so he's able to make the weight. And it's good though. He used that length really well. But another thing I'd like to talk about is his actual style. So we see these physical attributes, but how they actually fight. When you go back and watch him, you see all these different subs, right? You think, okay, this guy right here, he's got. Right, we see like his most recent win with the sub. Yeah, that was really nice, rear naked choke in Valetudo, Japan, and that's on YouTube against Moayed. And an interesting fight there. You got a sub, right? Sub, triangle choke was nice before that, and then you got a technical submission, rear naked choke in round one. It's all round one finishes, and then you get decision, and then you got a KO or kind of like a TKO, and round two before that. So, but the thing is. If you'll see him, because his bread and butter, rather, what he has a lot of success is going to be on the ground, right? You see these sub attempts. But as far as his striking, he has a taekwondo background, so you'll see a lot of kicks. You'll see him, he'll spam the low kick and nice little body kick as well. And he'll go with a Superman punch, so he's got some nice length to him, so it was good. But the thing is, I would be honest with you, the hands, I'm sure he's making improvements. He's young. His hands, I think because of that taekwondo background, I think he needs to work on the boxing a little more. He can get a little wild. He'll throw with some power, though. He's got some deceptive power for a flyweight. Like I said, he has got a good frame, and so he's kind of physically imposing in a way for a flyweight. He's a bigger flyweight. Let's just put it that way. So he has some power in the hands. He's okay to get a little bit wild if you close it. What he'll do is he likes to kind of like I said, spam the leg kicks. Expand, from distance, want to keep you at range, landing kicks, and then he wants to kind of tie you up. Now, he has good grappling, but that's more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu based. He's more like going for submission. So what you'll see is a lot of times with these Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, they don't have the best wrestling. They're more like trying to trip you, right? They want to they clinch up and use a trip to get you to the ground. I think I would like to see him work a little bit more on some wrestling and some boxing, just to kind of even his game out. But I think, it's interesting. He goes for subs, he'll kind of hurt you on the feet, kind of feeling out process, spam you, and then when the guy comes in, he's hoping they'll make a mistake, and he can clinch up with you, get you to the ground. But like I said, it's not that clear cut. I know I was kind of almost thinking, to be quite frank with you, a Taira by submission is worth a sprinkle, maybe a half a unit on that, maybe a fourth of a unit, nothing too big. But to be honest with you, I'm going to be quite frank here. That's kind of a narrative, but we have to look at their fighting. I'm not very confident. That's why I say it's worth a sprinkle if you want to play it. If you want to be really safe, it's not worth it. Maybe just don't. But you never know. That'd be awesome if it hits. I'm not too confident in that. Now, that's why I say a sprinkle, because, hey, it's, if he wins, it's great. If not, no big deal. Because it has a lower chance of happening than you think. You see a lot of submissions on there, but against, Candelario, man, you see that in his, I want to talk about him a little bit. And he got that split decision loss in the Dana White's Contender Series, and it was interesting. You see the way it goes, and it's actually, I think this is a really kind of a good read here. If you see stylistically how he matches up against Taira, and you'll see with him, he's got split decision there. He got unanimous decision. He got a TKO by punches, and then he got a submission. He actually won by submission before that. But look at the inactivity. You see, this is in 2017, and then there's a big gap where he doesn't start fighting until like 2021. So he has a boxing background, though. The hands are looking good. I like that. I mean, he's obviously gonna on the feet. It's interesting because people are saying maybe he has a slight advantage. Well, kick. I mean, Taira probably will have the better kicks. Obviously, having a taekwondo background, you see the way he spams the low kicks and he'll do the body kick, but the boxing is going to be definitely the hands. I'd have to give a big advantage for Candelario. I think if it's just straight boxing, I'm kind of worried because if when you're spamming a leg kick like that, I think what's a good answer to a leg kick is a punch in the face, obviously. So I think when Taira is spamming those leg kicks, I think Candelario is going to be trying to land up front. He's going to eat that leg kick and come forward. And Candelario is tough, man. He's lost a split decision to Altamirano, but Altamirano was had a lot of submission attempts, man. He was going for calf slicer. He was going he almost choked him out a bit. I mean, it showed me Candelario has a lot of heart, and he's working on that. He didn't get subbed by that, so it's it makes me think that Taira's. I don't think he's gonna have that much success. I think he's gonna there's on the ground he's gonna have an advantage. He's gonna be the one to be throwing up subs, so that's kind of nice. I mean, he'll maybe put him in some dangerous spots, but let's talk about the ground and pound from Candelario. Candelario, man, when he goes to the ground, he'll land some effective ground and pound. Those hammer fists are nasty. And in the boxing as well, so it's tough because and they're young, and I think he's he's making improvements. Like I said, that's a split decision. I mean, go back and watch that Contender Series fight. I mean, you'll kind of get a good a read as to how he fights, and I think he did a good job. I mean, he was able to. I think he needs to maybe obviously you see these guys. He needs to up his grappling ability a little more, but just conversely, Taira needs to, of course, work on his boxing fundamentals more. You have to kind of fill out these gaps. When they're young, I think they have. I'm sure they'll make some improvements, and they'll prepare accordingly, right? I mean, it's a very interesting stylistic matchup. I don't want to speak. I'm gonna go around too much. Sorry, I ate dates and drank coffee, so I'm just totally right before this video. But anyway, I think to be honest with you, I this is a coin flip. I mean, I think the odds are really. I'm not liking those odds, man. I mean, it's kind of weird. I am leaning Taira in a way. I mean, look, we want. He's coming from Japan, and I gotta support the guy. But I think minus 240 is just I think it's a lot closer than that, guys. I mean, minus 240, the implied odds of that is like 70.59. So you gotta believe this guy wins well over 70% of the time. I just don't know if I can say that. I mean, if you could honestly tell me Taira wins this matchup 75% of the time. Okay, go for it. Put him in a little parlay. Put him in a 2-leg parlay. Whatever. But I honestly, I'm going to tell you a play right now. I think I won't beat around the bush. I think the over 1.5 is nice if you want to put that in a little parlay, maybe like a 2-leg parlay. Depends on you. I know a lot of people like doing crazy ones, but those 3 to 4 to 5 excess parlays, usually someone shits the bed, as we say. So, I feel like just when you have cards like this, you don't there's a lot of little not necessarily red flags, but like little question marks you see popping up in your head. I think I think the over 1.5 is good. I think I think Taira, he wants to go for some positions. You'll see some the grappling. You'll see he'll have some success. But look, Candelario has that ground and pound, and I think Taira maybe hasn't faced someone as dangerous or maybe quite to this level yet. But at the same time, Candelario, I think we'll be prepared. I think the ground pound is going to be good for Candelario. I think Taira is going to be a little wild. I think the kicks are going to be good there. At distance, we'll see. Taira will land some good leg kicks, I think, and they'll close the distance. And Candelario will have success with the boxing. I think Taira will get a little wild, try to throw a Superman punch in there. It'll be back and forth, and then they'll eventually find themselves to the ground, where Taira will try to throw some submissions. But I think they'll survive. I think the over 1.5 is really good for a little parlay leg. Just go, a 2-person parlay. There's some other shots here. Other bets I'd like to talk about here. We'll go into the next video. But anyway, guys, I think let me know what you think about this. I mean, I think Candelario could be worth maybe an underdog play, but if you're gonna go for this, it might be dog or pass. But I think Taira, I am leaning him. I just don't think that line is very appropriate. I think I think it should be a lot closer than that. Taira by sub is a nice little prop bet, but it's a low confidence one. I think just nothing to sprinkle. Out of this, I think the over 1.5. These are tough guys. I mean, I think they're young, they're tough, and I think Candelario, the ground pound will be there, but I think Taira will be able to throw some submissions to at least neutralize it to some degree. And I think, Candelario is very tough, and I can't see him really getting subbed so early. Like, I mean, Taira likes to get these fights finished. He likes to fill him out, and, throw leg kicks and eventually try to get to the ground. Land something maybe to hurt the opponent, then get it to the ground and get a sub. But I just don't see him being able to finish Candelario so easily. I think these guys go back and forth 1.5 rounds. It's got to be a lock. I wouldn't even be surprised if this went to split decision, to be quite frank with you. I could see it going that way. I think I could see this going to the judges, but over 1.5 I think is worth a bet. Anyway, don't want to repeat myself anymore. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on this fight. You know what I mean? And let's get some good bets going. Enjoy the fights, guys. I got another video coming out which has another bet, I think, that is worth a little sprinkle. Maybe even can make a little parlay with this bet right here. Anyway, peace out, brothers. Take it easy. All that good stuff. No more rambling.